Hi, I'm Timothy, a licensed clinical social worker in therapeutic practice. One of the things that I do in therapy is I help couples. And one of the biggest issues that comes up with couples is we're not communicating very well. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about couples communication and give you a little tip for your marriage or your relationship with your partner, which actually is helpful with your family too. So one of the things that we do for one another is we listen to one another. And for the purposes of today's tip, I'm going to suggest that there's two basic types of listening, two basic ways to listen to one another. The first way is the way that we tend to listen to one another, which is we listen to fix. Now, what that looks like is somebody comes home from work, like your partner, and they start to talk about something that went on at work that's frustrating them. And while we're listening, we start thinking about I wonder if they did this, or I wonder if they've tried this. And we're trying to figure out the problem that they're having so that we can offer a solution, a way to fix it. The problem with that, why it could be helpful in some situations, the problem is most of the time when we're coming home from work or when we're sharing something that's frustrating us, we're not asking you to fix it. We're actually asking for something different. We're asking for you to validate what we're experiencing. And so the second type of listening is listen to validate, which is to say, listening, hearing what they're saying, and going, oh yeah, I understand why you feel that way. I understand why you might be frustrated or whatever the emotion is. So let me give you an example of listen to fix and listen to validate. So I've been married for a long time, and my wife might come home one day and she might say something like, man, work today. There's these two people that I work with, and they're always at each other. They talk really poorly to each other in front of customers and people that they really shouldn't do that to. They talk poorly and get kind of, go and complain to other coworkers about the other one all the time. And it is just so frustrating. I've talked to them about it so many times, and yet today they did it again. They did it in front of people they shouldn't be doing it in front of, and I just can't believe that they act this way. Now, if I was listening to fix, I would say something like, well, have you tried taking them aside and talking to them? Have you talked to them one-on-one? Have you had them both come into your office and sit down and explain the problem? My wife is not an idiot, right? She's not asking me to solve the problem at all, but that's what I'm doing. And in fact, she may not even want me to solve this problem. And if I jump in too soon, the rest of the story might be, and somebody else came to my office today and complained about these two and what they're doing. So I had already jumped in to fix something that she wasn't even trying to fix. Now, if she comes home and says that same thing, and I'm listening to validate, like she comes home and I'm like, hey, honey, how was work? And she's like, these two people in my office, they are always talking really poorly about each other in front of customers and other people they shouldn't do about. They act like idiots. Today they were yelling at each other. They talk to other people poorly about each other. It just drives me crazy. And I'm listening. I'm not trying to fix anything or decide what I'm going to say next. I'm just trying to listen to what she's saying. And on top of that, somebody else came into my office today to complain about them. And it is just so frustrating because I've talked to them so many times. What my wife really needs me to say is something like this. Wow, that is so frustrating. Man, if I was you, I would be frustrated too. That must be super annoying because you can't even get your work done because these two people can't even act like professionals. You see what I'm doing here is I'm validating how she feels. In a lot of ways, when we come in and we're talking about what's something going on in our life, what we're really doing is saying something like this. This is what happened. This is how I feel. I'm not crazy, am I? Right? Isn't it reasonable that I feel this way? And here's a bonus tip. Even if you don't think it's reasonable that they feel that way, it's okay to validate how they're feeling. Later, you might help them see it in a different way so they feel it different. But right now, they need to know it's okay to feel the way they feel, that they're frustrated or angry. So one of the extra things I would say is make it a rule in your house that you can ask for the listening that you need, right? And not anybody get upset about it. So we have that rule in our house. My wife and I try to practice that, and we've taught it to our daughters. And so one day, not too long ago, my high school daughter came home and she said, "Dad, these two boys in my class, they were talking about this, and this, and it was really upsetting to me." And I interrupted and I said, "Oh, that's horrible. Did you talk to the teacher about it? Did the teacher know this? Did you talk to the teacher? Do you want me to help you talk through what it would be? Do you want me to go talk to the teacher?" And my daughter very wisely said, "Dad, I'm not asking you to fix this. I'm asking you to hear what I'm saying." And I'm like, "Oh, right. Sorry, honey. I was just getting to be a dad there." But yeah, that's annoying. And boys shouldn't act that way. Those boys shouldn't act that way. And I don't blame you for being upset about them acting that way. So the tip of the day is listen to validate. Listen to say, "I hear what you're feeling and I hear what you're saying. I'm not trying to fix you." Because we can ask for that too. My wife could say, "Hey, you know those two people I was talking about at work that are always, fighting with each other? I've tried this and I've tried this and I've tried this. Do you have any ideas?" Then I could offer something I might have thought of. Or if my daughter would have been sharing that story and I was like, "Oh man, I can't believe they were talking like that in class," she could have said, "Dad, what do you think I should do about that?" And I could suggest options. That's a lot more helpful. And when we listen to validate, the other person knows we're actually hearing them.